Good morning, it's Tess, and today is tip 384, and it's what are your inner food voices saying to you? And I was looking at this workbook by the Intuitive Eating Workbook, and it's by Evelyn Tribole, Tribole, and I ran across something that I found kind of interesting, and it talked about becoming familiar with your inner food voices. And I know I talk about what are you thinking? Well, I thought it was kind of interesting that they identified inner food voices. And when I was reading through them, I'm like, at different points in my life, some of these voices were very loud and I had to learn to tame them. But I thought it was kind of interesting because they talked about when you are thinking about food, what kind of thoughts go through your mind? Do you think of things like, if I eat that piece of cheese, I'm going to get high cholesterol? Or do you think, if I'm going to eat all of these, this is the thought, I am going to eat all of those cookies, even though I'm not hungry and they're not really my favorite kind. They happen to be here, there's nothing else, I'm going to eat them anyway. And we all know that's not a very good food voice, but it does impact us sometimes. And then the next one is, I can trust my body to tell me what to eat, when to eat, and how much to eat. That is a good one if your body can be trusted to tell you, but you have to kind of think about you and where you're at in your journey. The next one is, that food has a lot of garlic and onion in it, and I know that my stomach gets sick every time I eat stuff like that. And I think we do that even with like the green smoothies. Well, you know, I don't sit well with that. My body doesn't like lettuce. My body doesn't like fruits and vegetables. So I just thought it was kind of interesting how this book, Intuitive Eating, is talking about our inner food voices. And that is back to what we think. But if you think about it as identifying maybe not the emotional part, but the food voices. Are you a person that thinks that, I noticed that I was overly full all day yesterday. Would that make you stop eating more going forward? Or would it make you eat less going forward? Think about like, what kind of things do you say to yourself? It says, like, here's another one. Even though I ate past my fullness last night, it's going to be okay. You know, my stomach will digest it. It's fine. Do we think about how we're going to change it going forward? Or do we just keep doing it and getting further down the path away from what our goal is? The next one is, I ate pizza last night and I know I've gained 5 pounds from it. I think that's another thing too. It's that failure mentality. Sometimes people are going to eat pizza, but if you decide you're going to gain 5 pounds from it and you throw in the towel, you almost give up before you ever have a chance. So kind of what it was talking about is that if we can start identifying the way that we talk about food to ourselves, maybe we can change the way we talk about it. Like, if we're going to go to an event, that's fine, but what are we doing earlier in the day and while we're at the event? How do we make sure that we're, you know, getting that one great thing that we don't normally get, that we're not going to get every single day? And then changing the way we talk about the foods that are good for us. I had to change that because I recognized, well, hi, Bev, good to see you. I recognized that I feel better with the foods that I tried very hard to avoid when I was at my heavier weights. And I thought that this was really interesting because, again, this is the Intuitive Eating Workbook, and there is a book called the Intuitive Eating by Evelyn Tribole, Tribole. And this is just a workbook that they have, but I thought it was really interesting when it kind of pointed out that for all of us, identifying our inner food voices, how we talk to ourselves about our foods, can really impact how we move forward. Are we saying things that help us to say, hey, you know, I wanted to eat more food last night and I decided I was going to give it a try, and I feel better this morning because I didn't eat a heavy meal before I went to bed. So it must be true that, you know, my body digests and cleans up house, so to speak, when I eat. Or are you going to say, you know, I ate a really bad breakfast. I had a donut. They had them here at the office. I can't eat this anymore. And I think that if we can just try to identify our food voices and maybe change one or two of them, don't try to overwhelm yourself with everything, but change a voice here or there, you might find that your journey gets a little bit easier. Because again, it's about the small steps that makes the long-term goal better. And the first step is identifying something that we can work on. And I know for me, I'm going to work on those inner food voices even more than what I have been in the past few years. And for you guys, I want the same thing. We'll work on those inner food voices so that they help in the journey, that we're enjoying the new way of life. Thank you, and have a great day.